First party to
Why do you link me in the middle
when he
of this?
loses. Do I think it's going to be the same thing again? I don't. I don't think we saw it this time.
I mean, I disagree, but I don't want to take up any more
I
time.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, it's gonna be the next guy coming on. Okay.
Hey, Ben. I wanted to get a little bit away from politics for a second and ask about what to look for in a spouse. So I'm from a... Oh, shut up. So I'm from a traditional Middle Eastern community in Brooklyn, and a lot of people that I've spoken to tell me, you know, the way you fall in love is, you know, somebody takes on certain roles, the traditional roles, you know, taking care of your house, raising your children. And then I listen to people like Jordan Peterson who will say that, no, you find somebody that, you know, you have to contend with, or Jonathan Haidt, who speaks about the progression from the romantic love period to compassionate love, to companionate love period.
Yeah.
Right. So I guess my question is, outside of sharing the same values religiously and politically, what should you look for in a spouse to, you know, ensure that the relationship will flourish after that romantic love period?
So I think that it's a great question. I mean, obviously, you named the biggest thing that people, and that is the thing that people miss, by the way, right? The way that people date is for the romantic love, and they don't think about the companionate love or the sharing of the values. So you actually took most of the question off the table, because you were like, here's all the important stuff. Tell me about the not important stuff. So, okay, so among the non-important things, but they're still important. Obviously, there has to be sexual compatibility and attraction between you and your spouse, right? That's an important thing. Pretending that it doesn't exist is really foolish. Now, when I say sexual attraction and compatibility, I would hope that you wait to find out whether there is compatibility until after you're married, right? So the idea of sexual attraction is very important. But, you know, I'm an advocate of traditional marriage, which means I'm an advocate of virginity until marriage.
Doesn't it seem kind of weird to marry somebody before you figure out, like, a really important compatibility? But whatever.
I have been my entire life. I was a virgin until I was married. My wife was a virgin until we were married. We are both happy, very happy for that. Because one of the things that it did is it actually meant that we had to respect each other as human beings before we actively became sexual with one another. We actually had to make a lifelong commitment to each other before we were going to give each other that part of ourselves. So I think that's a really important thing. You know, as far as other attributes, somebody you can have fun with, somebody who's able to handle crisis would be a really good attribute. And you know, C.S. Lewis talks about sort of the different attributes of men and women. One of the attributes that he points out is that under stress, men tend to recede. Men tend to be like, okay, I'm going to go silent. This is what happens during stressful situations. And women tend to become more active. And so they help, right? But the way they help is by annoying you, right? And for men, the way that they help is by like running away to the man cave and brooding, right? And so yeah, so finding a spouse who's actually able to understand those differences is very difficult, and if you can find it, absolutely phenomenal. Communicating with your spouse is really, really important. I mean, I've told a bunch of stories about me and my wife and how we have these sort of gaps from time to time, and one of the things I love about my spouse is that I will actually sit with her and I'll be like, okay, I'm a man, I don't understand what's going on, I need you to explain this to me like I'm a small child. And thank God she will. I mean, she's very, you know, giving that way. And I think that open line of communication is really great. Having a sense of humor, being goofy is really necessary. Life is rough, and particularly after you have kids. Kids are wonderful. I have 3 of them. They're also a giant pain in the ass, and they're extraordinarily tiring. And so if you don't have a sense of humor about your kids or about your life, it's going to be real rough. So having a sense of humor is a big thing.
Thank you.
I think this is I don't know if Ben has grown up or if I just haven't heard him talk about relationships much, but that was probably one of the only times I've heard somebody speak about the differences between men and women and acknowledge the shortcomings of both, and then give an example for a relationship for how both of them help to overcome those shortcomings. Like the red pill answer, I would expect to be like, oh, like when there's a problem, I expect my wife to shut the fuck up and sit back and let the man be the leader and blah. Like that's like the red pill answer for everything. Whereas he's like, I have these strengths, my wife has these strengths. Sometimes I need her to explain this. Sometimes blah blah blah. It was a really, really positive answer for communicating differences in marriages. But Ben isn't red pill. Yeah, no, I don't think most conservatives aren't red pill. That's like more of an internet younger thing. But well, I don't understand why I was linked this video. Was that a DGGer? He didn't even... It must have been the kid before. I don't know. Fuck. He fucked the timestamp up, I guess. Does Melina still not pay 50% of the rent? No, but that's because I out-earn her by quite a bit. I don't think I'd have my partner pay 50% of something if I'm out-earning them.